It has been a long time since we have had best on best hockey at the Olympics on the men's side, and thus far, it has not disappointed, as the knockout stage, the elimination round, whatever you want to call it, has been drama all the way through, and it leads to the result that a lot of people wanted. It's Canada and the US for gold. How did we get here? With a lot of very incredible performances. So let's break it all down. Shall we? So, the Olympics have been insane on the men's side. Just in general, it has been a very fun Olympic Games to take in. Really, really enjoy so many the fun stories that you always get from an Olympic Games. We have had those on full display. But obviously, the focus here is going to be on the NHL involvement on the men's side. And just an incredible tournament. A bit of a slow start, admittedly. It was not ideal with I don't know if there's a better way to do it. The round robin didn't provide a whole lot of drama, but it set the stage for what has been an incredible quarterfinals into the semifinals and all of that with overtime games. And then today's semifinals, USA against Slovakia was certainly lacking in the drama department, but Canada-Finland more than made up with it as Nathan McKinnon scores with 35.2 seconds left to give Canada a 3-2 win, advancing to the gold medal game against the Americans on Sunday morning. And there's a lot of different storylines coming out of this. One that I feel like, I don't want to say is under-discussed or underrated or anything like that, because it's weird to talk about this player in those terms, but Connor McDavid is having an exceptional tournament. And it's, you almost take it for granted, because it's like, yes, no, the best player in the world is playing very well. Cool, breaking news, hot take, let's get all the social media things out there and really load this thing up. But he has found another level. He has added a physicality to his game, and even amongst the best players in the world, he is stepping up and having the biggest games and having the biggest impact. And the speed is incredible. The decision making that he can use or utilize at that high level of speed is second to none. To be able to do everything that he does at the speed and precision in which he does it is off the charts. And it is, again, it's just like he has found another level. But it's not like everything is just rushed. You look at the power play goal that they scored against Finland to get back into it at 2-1. They tried a couple of times to get it to Reinhardt in the slot, but it was obvious that Finland was kind of collapsing on that. And so McDavid, he has a look there for a second. He's on the half wall on the side nearest to us on the broadcast. He has a look into the slot for a second that could be open for Reinhardt, but instead, let's spread this thing out a little bit. Gets it up top to Makar, and the shot gets deflected in by Reinhardt. Just recognizing like, hey, this plan of attack isn't working. What is out here? Oh, this is. Get it to the point. Puts the shot through. Reinhardt gets a desperately needed goal, and the Canadians are back in this hockey game. So it is just, he is seeing everything at an elite level. He is playing at an elite level, and it really does feel like the best player in the world is getting better at this best on best tournament. On the other side of the coin, it has to be frustrating for Nathan McKinnon, who was the best player in the NHL for the first part of the season, but is obviously dealing with some kind of an issue for the Canadians here in this Olympic Games. Some kind of an injury or something. It doesn't get better today as he collides. I think it was Rupe Hintz that collided with him in the middle of the ice there. Yeah, I think second period. But it's the fact that he is still able to get some stuff done is pretty remarkable, because he's obviously dealing with something. And you see, like, he gets a bit of a burst going and tries to get in on the attack. And then he's able to still hammer the shot on goal and put it in to give Canada the decisive blow against Finland. And it's basically, like, it's honestly a reminder of McDavid. I forget if it was last year or 2 years ago, where Draisaitl was banged up. And so they kind of put him with McDavid, not just to load up a line, but almost because you have to, because he wasn't able to carry things because he was banged up in the way that he was. McKinnon almost feels like that at this point, where it would be great if it was Crosby on the second line. We'll talk about that in a second here. It would be great if it was Crosby on that second line, but you almost have to go with the nuclear option, because McKinnon isn't necessarily going to be that driver on his own line in the way that you would want him to be if he was completely healthy, but still finding ways to get the job done. Nathan McKinnon playing at that high level. And as they head toward the gold medal game, Sidney Crosby's status is the biggest story in Canada, whether he can play in this game or not. I wonder, even if he does play, how much is he going to be able to go? There's a bit of me that wonders if he's just going to be a bit of a distraction out there. Not a distraction, but a decoy, either on the power play or just getting a little bit of run 5-on-5 and just being that presence on the bench, that calming influence on the bench to try to help them go. But there's part of me that's like, if he's dressed, he's playing. Like, there's going to be no keeping him off the ice if he's going. So that's going to be a very interesting thing to watch. And then who do you sub out? Like, Hagel played 7 minutes today. I don't know if he was remarkably effective. They don't exactly play the same style, but a lot of people were very frustrated with Sam Bennett right until they weren't, as he went just full tank into the goaltender UC Saros and drew the penalty that led to the first goal of the game. But the Sam Bennett experience taketh, and the Sam Bennett experience giveth as well, as that line was instrumental in getting the second goal for the Canadian squad. But it'll be interesting, the lineup decisions. Man, if Morrissey is ready to go, that would be a very big one for Canada. It was obvious in this game that more offense is needed from the point, and I think against the Americans, one thing that's going to be very important is getting the puck out of your own end. Canada hasn't faced a ton of resistance before these last 2 games here, but one thing that has been a problem throughout is once teams kind of do get set up, it's tough for Canada to get it going the other way. When they do, there's a ton of speed and everything is great, but getting it out of their own end has been a bit of a problem at times. Morrissey would be such an upgrade in that over whether it is Sanheim or Doughty or whoever you would pull out. He would be a major, major improvement for Canada. But we're talking about all these lineup changes that could be made, and we're talking about them coming off of, again, another white knuckle, but a victory for the Canadian side. And I think this game shows the strength of this team. And I have been frustrated at times with how Canada has put some of these teams together, focusing not as much on the skill aspect of it as I would like them to. But you can see the method to the madness in a game like this, because it was about Plan C that Canada finally started to get going. Plan A, obviously for this team, is the speed and skill that they have, especially with the Mach 3 line, with McDavid, McKinnon, and Celebrini. And then some of the other guys behind, like Horvat's not known for his skating, but he still has been playing at a pretty good pace in this tournament. And there's other guys who can do it as well. On the blue line, Makar, and Harley to a certain degree also. But the first one is creating with the elite offensive talent that they have. The second is throw everything into the corner and just go crash, bang, boom, try to retrieve it, set something up, and get the goal. And it was obvious early on, not a lot's coming off of the rush for this Canadian side. It looked like, I made this reference on the radio, it looked like, watching it on TV, like the 90s arcade games with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where you would think, okay, we got 2 guys behind us, and then the camera would pan, and there's still 5 guys there. How, like, it felt like there was always a Finnish player right in the exact right spot, and that's how they have coached these teams for forever. That's how they've been what they have been in international competitions. So that speed element for Canada wasn't going to be there. The forechecking also wasn't going to be there because of very good skating defensemen like Heiskanen, because again, everyone is in the right spot where they need to be. They're able to just like quick one touch out and clear that scoring opportunity, done. So the next was obviously, that's not going to work. Try to get some kind of a zone entry and then get some traffic in front of UC Saros. In Brad Marchand's case, on top of him, and then get that traffic, get a deflection, and try to create off of that. So it was Plan A didn't work, Plan B didn't work, Plan C didn't work. But that's why you have a roster that is put together in this way, so that, okay, the McDavid thing, like, he's excellent, but that's going to be at least a little bit limited. Can we try the Tom Wilson forecheck thing? Okay, that's not going to work. Now can we try Makar and Theodore from the point with Marchand and Reinhardt in front of the goal? Oh, hey, look at that. We got a couple of them. Now we've created a power play. Now we've scored. Now we've won this game. So I still would quibble with a couple of decisions, but it's tough to say that with a team that's going to go play for a gold medal. And not to be lost in all of this, but also Jordan Binnington, he wasn't the game saver in the way that he was against the Czech Republic, with like Nate just coming in on a breakaway and stuff like that. But still, just doing what he needed to do again, proving to be that big game goaltender that he has been for Canada in these. But he's going to have to do it again. And that was maybe his biggest performance, was against the Americans in overtime at the Four Nations. They're going to need him again, because there are going to be moments where this USA team and their offense is going to overwhelm this Canadian side. It's going to be up to Binnington to make sure that those stay out of the net, and it's going to be up to the rest of the team to make sure that those stretches don't last forever. But this is going to be an incredibly difficult test against an American team that has the high-level skill at the top of the lineup with guys like Eichel and Matthews and the Tkachuk brothers and all of that. They do have some crash-bang-boom in JT Miller and Vincent Trocheck, and they have a blue line that's exceptional with a goaltender who looks like the best goalie in the world again in Connor Hellebuyck. It's going to be interesting to see how they match up, these two sides. Canada has gone with the nuclear option before, and when they're trailing, that has been something that has helped them out. But if Crosby can play, and if you can stack up and just kind of spread it out a little bit, when you have McDavid and McKinnon, whatever he can be, and celebrating playing the way that he is, and that high-level elite offense, like it feels like it is almost a wash. But the bottom six can be a real strength for Canada, because I have more trust in Horvat, Marchand, Bennett, Suzuki, Hagel, whoever stays in the lineup, Jarvis, whoever. I have more trust in that than I do JT Miller and Vincent Trocheck over on the other side. So that, how they match up everything is going to be very, very interesting to watch as that game goes along. So I can't wait. What have you guys thought? Like, it's been an amazing tournament from my perspective. Round robin was a little mid, but the rest of it has been a whole lot of fun. But what are you looking for now as Canada gets set to take on the Americans very early on Sunday morning out here in the Mountain Time Zone? Hoping to go live after that game is done. Result pending, but hopefully going to come on here and have some fun chatting about the gold medal game and the wrapping up of the Olympics just in general for 2026. So make sure to keep it locked on my socials at Primetime Klein on Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky to know when we are going live after that Canadian game.